1st of April 2025 today, and no fooling, we've arrived at Petermann Island after our long traverse up from Lazarev Bay. We're now north of our first Antarctic destination, the Fish Islands, and in an area that would normally be quite popular with Antarctic cruise and expedition ships, but they've all gone home. We're getting well positioned for our return run across the Drake Passage in a couple of days' time, but we aren't finished in Antarctica yet. The agenda for today is a landing at Petermann Island, where there's an Argentinian emergency hut. It's not occupied. It's an emergency shelter and contains emergency supplies. Then we have a short run up to Portcharcot, where there is a Gentoo Penguin colony and where we might see some chinstrap penguins. Then if conditions hold, it's party time. We're going to have an end-of-trip barbecue on the helicopter deck, even though technically it's not the end of the trip, but the weather is good. But first, Petermann Island. The ship makes its entrance through one of the most spectacular landscapes we have yet encountered. As you would have guessed, she's dropped us off at the entrance to the channel and is moving closer for when we return, but don't spoil the illusion.
You need to know what you like to snap, because I like landscapes and animals also.
So they'll be visible off the left side.
This is a small colony of Gentoo penguins. You do not want to take too deep a breath. These are different to the Adelie penguins we've been seeing, a little bit bigger. Trying to operate cameras with all these gloves and layers of clothing and everything on. Anyway, this is Petermann Island. This is sort of the unloading operation going on here. People have wandered up there. These penguins here are Gentoo penguins. I'll show you more closely later. There's a boat there waiting to unload. They'll come in after this boat's unloaded and backed out. And penguin up there on the everybody crunching through the snow. All the your backpacks and everything go on in this tarpaulin here. You're not allowed to put them down on the ice, and all the life jackets go in there, and you just grab one and adjust it to fit so you don't wind up with the same life jacket as you're left with. Somebody here checking out the bags. What's all this?
Like this wasn't here earlier today. When did this arrive? I don't know.
This is an Argentinian emergency hut. There's nobody here permanently. It's just basically if you get stuck in this area, there's a hut with supplies. The cross there is a memorial to three scientists who fell through the ice. Well, they believe they just disappeared. They believe they fell through the sea ice. I think that was in 1982. This is a bit of a shelter by the Gentoo penguins. Evidently there was a leopard seal here this morning, patrolling up and down.
Some of the penguins here are molting. Yeah, I know I said that in the last clip, but it amazes me that they get right up on the cliffs up there. They're really quite good at climbing.
They don't know they're being cute, but they're being cute. The ship is being moved closer to our drop-off point to speed up the retrieval. I suppose they get us off as soon as they can, then do a recce in a Zodiac to find a good pickup location that's closer, and then move the ship. It's all fun and penguins for us, but the crew never stops.
Come, 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 come. Yeah. No, don't worry.
Moving the ship closer so when we go back it's a shorter trip. Just sneaking up through the channel there. There's somebody with their nice ship cough up behind me there. Puffing and panting a bit, walking in the snow up these slopes is quite hard work, and I'm actually getting pretty warm.
This penguin is eating snow to get fresh water, basically drinking.
These guys wandering around, not really bothered about us. And so this is evidently a snowy sheathbill, otherwise known as a shit picker. Bunch of penguins and visitors, and everybody's trying to decide which way, who's going which way, and
Okay, so it's a close state.
But you won't be able to attack because they will form a group and go against it. Very different.
it's a giant petrel
But if there's one that's ill or injured,
giving the penguins a hard time, and they all pack together. And
to bother them, making sure there's no disease. Yeah, it gets much bigger. Like, they're terrifying. Look at that. Oh, nice.
so what's that?
That's also a giant petrel. And it's just a white morph. Oh, is it going to stop flying?
The
Got him out into the light for you, then.
penguins getting aggro with the giant petrels. No, this one's going to have a go. This needs like an Aussie man. You know, like, mate, I told you, bugger off. Yeah, I'm just sitting here, mate. I'm not doing anything. Like, no, we know your kind. Just like... Like, he's not standing for it, is he? Where are they? These two colour variants of snowy petrels here. The white on the left and the grey on the right. I believe they're the same species, just colour variations. Some people heading back to the ship and getting sort of the semi-zodiac tour while they're doing it.
Every zodiac will just go into there so that people can
Quite a few people have gone back to the ship now, so it's easier to get pictures of the ship in the environment without lots of people in it. Lucky bastards have got a whale just sitting there.
Time to go back to the ship. Remember, we have a 3-hour limit for each stop and we have another location to visit today.
Ship from Petermann Island. We have one other landing this afternoon at Portcharcot, and I think that's probably it. There was a whale just out here earlier on. Got it on the video, but I think it's moved off. We're not going to see it. Yeah, just my phone in the water. Again, that Moby Dick moment where we're waiting for a whale to hit us. Just pass behind us. And this way around. People on shore waiting to get Zodiac back. We had a pretty good encounter with a whale on the way back, well, with 3 whales actually on the way back, and this is sort of this morning. Absolutely beautiful landscape. Zodiac's coming back. I think they might have taken a detour to check out the whale. Disembarking people. Amazing environment. Anyway, I'm going to go and get a hot chocolate. I quite like these mini glaciers with the broken and crevassed ice where it carves off them into the ocean.
As usual when we travel close to shore, the scenery is wonderful. Also as usual, a bit windy but not too bad. The microphone is in the cabin being charged up for the next excursion.
This afternoon, and then I think that's it. 3 days time we'll be back in Ushuaia. Unfortunately, the captain's already said that the first day is going to be, as he said, a bit rough, but what that means to him, I don't know. Hopefully no more than the 4 metre seas than we had on the way down.
Approaching Port Charcot, we come across stranded icebergs and a lot of floating ice.
Penguins in the water down there.
Yep, we're going to find a way through that.
Threading our way through the gaps.
Some of the surrounding peaks have these snow ridges on them. They must be 10 or 20 metres tall, if not more.
It's that snow perch up there.
There will be no polar
Port Charcot and the expedition crew leave to prepare the landing site. The sea here is beginning to freeze and the skin of ice looks weird as the ship pushes it to one side.
You can get some impression on how cold it is with the crust of sea ice that's formed since we've been here. Ship parked in yet another scenic location. There's sea ice swimming around the ship, and it was great coming out in the Zodiac. I hope it reforms before we go back, and I'll try and get it on video because it's really quite interesting. I think I mentioned before that this is graveyard of stranded icebergs, a bit like Lazarus Bay, but the number and size of icebergs here is nowhere like it is at Lazarus. Very spectacular location though. Might head up the hill that way. There's quite a climb up to the can over there, and I'm not sure I want to do that. I have to follow the post stuck in the snow. So we have a welcoming committee of Gentoo penguins again, and there's some quite obligingly porpoising out there. Come on. Heading off to get some food. There's a lot of penguins up high, quite distant from the water. It's amazing how far up this slope the penguins have gone. See them right up there. A lot of penguins on this quite high rocky ridge here, quite a way up away from the water. This penguin is eating basically nice clean poo-free snow, which is effectively getting a drink. Go and do it. Now I talked about it, it's like commentator's curse, isn't it?
The colony is distributed over quite a wide area. There are cameras here that record several photos a day, so scientists can study when the penguins arrive and leave the colony. Once the penguins that are still here have completed their annual feather molt, they'll head out to sea for the winter. This pointing is a bonding behaviour, and yes, the microphone battery has run flat again.
And here I am trying to get this pairing display, and I'm pretty sure that there's a fair bit of wind noise in the microphone. And I didn't bring the environmental microphone with the dead cat on it. Penguins out there trying to land. We're just porpoising. It's sort of all kitted up, ready to go. Expanded another another life jacket to fit me, but now I can't find my pack. Looks like it's buried somewhere.
All too soon, it's time to head back.
Stop.
The sea is freezing again where the Zodiacs broke up the thin film of ice when we arrived. Barbecue time. The captain is doing a good job at the baked potatoes and corn. Have to eat up before our food goes cold. What a location for a Barbie though. Sorry, I have to talk over this or I'll get a copyright strike over the music. Evidently I'm depriving some mega corporation of income. The party goes on for some time, but being old folks, we toddle off back to our cabin after about an hour. As I mentioned before, after completing our initial schedule, we're sort of off the leash, but our daily agenda is an ad hoc affair that depends mainly on the weather. Today would have been our last day if the Drake Passage was looking grim, but it isn't, so tomorrow we have one more day of expedition before we have to go. We're heading to the tiny Danco Island and the scenic Melchior Islands, where there's an Argentinian summer base. It's an overnight trip north to Danco Island and a lunchtime hop across to the Melchiors, so it'll be our last shore landing and our last Zodiac cruise tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if so, could you please give it a like. We'll see you in the next video for our last day in Antarctica before we head back to Oshire and the real world.